don't know if I'm live yet. We're going to see.
Hey guys, welcome to Forward.
Oh,
We're a new
no,
type of
no, I
doctor's
don't want to hear
office that's
that.
providing preventative
Dismiss
primary care.
that.
We've got world-class doctors supported by the most advanced
Let's
medical tech.
mute this. I'm going to skip the ads. Hello, hello, hello. I guess I am live. Welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I'm trying a new setup. You can hear me, Lysandra. This is a whole new setup for me. Oh, shucks. Whole new setup. Love you too if you can hear me. Let me know if I'm coming through. I stayed up late last night. Well, I'm always up late, but last night I was up late because uh, I was trying to come up with a better way of doing things over here. So, okay, I got y'all chat coming up. Great. I see that you say you can hear me. That's fantastic. Man, I mean, if don't nobody else know, you know, right? That I switched rooms and there's a bit of a different setup to this room. Like, not even just this room, the bathroom too. Because like when I go to take a shower on the other side in the other room, the bathtub is set up differently. So where the front of the tub is in this apartment, that's the back of the tub. I mean, not in this apartment. In this room, that's the back of the tub in the other room. So I'm having problems. I keep running into the back of the tub. I'm also running into the wall when I have to get up, like in the middle of the night or the middle of the morning for me, when I have to get up to use a washroom or something after I've been asleep. I used to have to get up on the right side of the bed. Now I have to get up on the left side of the bed, and I am bumping into that wall every morning. So it's gonna take some getting used to, just like it is with this backdrop. This is a whole different setup, and I'm gonna actually use my whiteboard with our presentation today because I haven't been able to do that. I had it set someplace different. So anywho, that's really it. That's all. I don't have nothing, I don't have nothing else to say about this change of rooms. Hopefully, it's not jarring to anyone. And speaking of jarring, uh, y'all can see right here. I don't know if it's on the left side of you or the right side of you guys' screen that I now have a tip glass. So if you give me a tip, you will see it go into the glass. You'll also probably see your name go across the screen with a big old thank you. So there is, you'll see at the top it says latest tipper. No data, that's because I ain't got no tips. But that's okay because eventually somebody will give me a tip and it will land right there in that glass. Or you can always do what you've been doing, which is super chats and the such. But we shall see. Um, what else I got here? Okay, so I might as well get started. I don't know if we're going to have anybody else join us, but I hope we do. But if you're joining late, you can always catch up on the rebroadcast by watching the live video when it becomes available. All right, so you know, if nobody else knows, everybody knows that I am a Trek fan, big Star Trek fan, and I have always spoken highly of Nichelle Nichols and what she has contributed to entertainment and especially representation in entertainment. If you don't know, Nichelle Nichols played Lieutenant Uhura in the original series, and she went on to play uh, Lieutenant Uhura and eventually Captain Uhura in some of these Star Trek movies. She had a long and storied career over Star Trek, but that's not where she started. She was also a singer and a dancer. So Nichelle Nichols has had many lives, many iterations. She was a mother. She was a friend to many. And she was an inspiration to one little girl. And that little girl was right here. That's me. And uh, as far as being sad. Nichelle Nichols lived to the ripe old age of 89 years old. So, she had a long life, even though the last few years were marred in controversy. Um, there was a big fight over her estate between friends, her manager, her son. It got ugly. Fortunately and unfortunately, Nichelle was suffering from dementia. So she wasn't as cognizant of what was going on around her. But I kind of halfway wish she were, because then she could have said precisely what it is that she wanted. But because she was going through this dementia, she didn't, she wasn't able to voice what she wanted to happen with her estate. So things got ugly. But nevertheless, she was an inspiration to many, and her life will be remembered. It is also, her legacy is on the screen, especially in the franchise of Star Trek. Uh, she, what was I going to say? She is uh, unwitting activist. That's what she was. Unwitting activist for civil rights. Martin Luther King himself got her on the telephone and told her how important the work that she was doing on Star Trek was. It was representation. He could show his little girls, Nichelle Nichols, on television in a room that she didn't have no business being in at that time. And he said, it is very important that you continue this work, because Nichelle was going to quit because of the racist atmosphere in Hollywood. So uh, Martin Luther King told her, you can't quit. You just can't. I can't let you quit. And I am thankful that he did, because now, instead of just being happy to be in the room like we were with Nichelle, we were just happy to be in the room. The bar has been raised. We're no longer just happy to be in the room. Now we have to have a little bit more access, a little bit more representation. We're seeing now not just a woman in the room, a black woman in the room, by the way. We're seeing black women as the lead actress. We're seeing black women as directors, black women as producers, black women as owners and moguls. These things kind of started with Nichelle. So thank you, Nichelle Nichols, for everything that you have contributed, and you will be missed greatly, vastly missed. Um, Next thing I got here. Ooh, I'm so hot. Now usually it's freezing in this room, but today I got nerve to be hot. Huh. Okay, but anywho, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the Sandman. Because this is something that we've all been kind of waiting for. At least I know I have, and a lot of my friends have, including Angus and Lysandra. So we're right up on it. It's starting on August 5th. Uh, it is executive produced by Neil Gaiman, who is also the author. David S. Goyer, Alan Heinberg, all of those are our executive producers for this series. It's coming on Netflix, if you didn't know. We've got some casting that we can announce. I mean, I guess we could have been announced them, but here we're going to announce that Tom Sturridge is playing Dream. Gwendolyn Christie is playing Lucifer. Jenna Coleman is playing Joanna. Then we got Taron Egerton, and I don't know what role he's playing because it is not particularly written here. But Taron Egerton, BT Dubs, is also rumored to be in talks for the new Wolverine. So we might be hearing more about him. And then, of course, Kirby Howell Baptiste is going to be playing Death. Gosh. So, when the Sandman, also known as Dream, the cosmic being who controls all dreams, is captured and held prisoner for more than a century, he must journey across different worlds and timelines to fix the chaos his absence has caused. So that is what our series is about. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to most in this series because I am interested in hearing it. Um, so August 5th, and right now I don't have Netflix. My Netflix is off. So tips will be greatly appreciated so I can watch the Sandman series. But if not, I'm gonna figure out a way. You guys know, I always do. um, yeah. So Angus and I last night we were talking. I wouldn't even call that last night. That had to be this morning. Or Angus and I were discussing the Sandman, right? And he was giving me a little bit of a lowdown on some of these characters. And let's see, he was saying that he was the one actually who brought to my attention that Kirby Baptiste was going to be playing uh, Death, but he says that there were some things that he didn't particularly like that he saw so far, and he's our resident Sandman expert. He had a complaint about Dream's eyes because they're supposed to look one way, and they have been presented an entirely different way. And if you don't know anything about Angus, he is a stickler for these kinds of details. So there is that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And if you have uh, anything to add as far as the Sandman, I'm here for it. I'd like to hear what you think. What was another thing that I was going to tell y'all? Shoot, what was another thing I was going to tell you? And it wasn't about. Oh, Nope. That movie is dividing people, y'all. So it's like many people think Nope is just like this fantastic movie. Is probably the best that Jordan Peele has done so far. The meaning, the everything about this movie, the underlying messages, everybody they just love it. And then there is an equal group of people who are like, didn't hit right for me. It wasn't the worst thing that I've watched all year, but at the same time, it didn't hit. And I'm like, how can one movie divide people in these two big disparate groups? And then I think about like the fact, like my sister said it wasn't like she wasn't her favorite movie, and then my nephew says it's like, oh yeah, that was the best movie of the year. So when I say the divided, it is divided even in households. So I thought about it and I was like, well, you know what? One of the things that I remember is the way Us was. A lot of people didn't get the same thing out of Us, that movie, that I did. I thought the movie was good and I thought it had a great message behind it. A lot of people did not get that message and they felt like, oh, you just being woke, which I heard that word, but okay, people say, oh, I'm not woke enough to get the message. No, it's all an interpretation. It is not to say that your interpretation of this movie is incorrect. It's to say that you didn't interpret the movie the same way I did, and it's okay. It's subjective. But what we can't go on and do is be like, this movie was terrible, because it's not terrible. It's only terrible to you, you know. And the same with me. When I say a movie is terrible, I don't mean don't watch the movie. Watch the movie and see if you get something different out of the movie than I do. Because if I say it's terrible to me. you know, uh, Clarence was the latest person who said, it wasn't great. Some few little tweaks, and it could have been a good movie. And I really want to pick people's brains as to what it is that they would have changed in this movie to make it more palatable for them. Because, like I said, two groups, and they are all both seeing different movies with the same movie. I like the fact that his movies make you think, and they make you have a discussion that you probably weren't going to have before. You're discussing this movie, you're talking about it, it becomes a talking point for some time, and then, of course, it does always go away, but that's any movie. So, let me know if you have seen Nope, And if you did, what your thoughts were, put it in the comments or the chat. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got to say. I've not seen it yet. I do hope to go see it uh, soon. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but we shall see. If you guys don't know, I got a grandchild on the way, so he is kind of upending the entire household with his little arrival, and and I'm excited, but at the same time, this is about to be something entirely different for us in our house. So, anywho, um, Andor. Now, I know this will be of particular interest to Lysandra because Andor is the next series that's coming out. That's a Star Wars series on Disney Plus, and uh, Andor is about Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor is the character that we met in Rogue One, which, if I haven't mentioned it this week, is my favorite of the Star Trek movies. I absolutely loved Rogue One. It's my favorite. We're seeing Diego Luna reprise the role of Cassian Andor, and then we've seen a cast get rounded out around him. And it is an outstanding cast. We've got Adria Arjona, Stellan Skarsgård, Genevieve O'Reilly, who's playing Mon Mothma, who is like, there are some people who are saying, "Oh, this is a movie or another show about a male character." Well, Mon Mothma is a big deal in this story, so I'm looking forward to seeing Genevieve's portrayal of Mon Mothma. Then we've got Kyle Soller, Fiona Shaw, Denise Goh, amongst other people. But Andor was set to come. I said was. It was set to come out in August. I forgot the date in August, but it was soon. August 30th, I think it was. Unfortunately, Disney has pushed it back to September. So it's only pushed 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's coming out September 21st instead of August 30th. I'm not 100% sure. It's looking like they have pushed it because they don't want it to bump into She-Hulk. And even though it still might overlap just a little with She-Hulk, both series won't be running simultaneously and competing with one another. So Andor is still coming. It's just coming 2 weeks or 3 weeks later than we initially expected. So September 21st is what we're looking for Andor. I am extremely excited to see how that plays out, especially since one of my favorite players, one of my favorite actors and characters from Rogue One is going to be. We're going to get a little bit of his pre-story, and that is Saw Gerrera, played by Forrest Whitaker. I'm excited because in Rogue One, that is the one character that I wish would have stayed around a little longer and that we would have gotten to know a little bit better in that movie. Because I know that there are people who say, "Oh, if you watch this cartoon, you would know a lot more about Saw Gerrera," or if you watch this, or if you read these books, you would know a lot more about Saw Gerrera. Well, that is not, I'm not going to do it. It's not feasible. I'm not going to watch these series and read these books. So I intend or I expect to learn as much as I can from the movies that I'm watching. Now, if I've already read the books or if I've already watched the cartoons or whatever, that's a different thing. But the fact that I haven't, I watched that movie and I loved that movie, Rogue One, but I wanted to know more about the character of Saw Gerrera. I am going to get more about Saw Gerrera. We're going to see the beginning of the rebellion because we know Rogue One was kind of the jump off of the rebellion of how they were going to get information from one from one part of the rebellion to the other. But now we're going to see how a rebellion gets started. There's going to be some political intrigue, which I'm also very interested and kind of enjoy in the Star Wars universe that the political intrigue and how things get started, where things began. And that is how I say that Mon Mothma is going to be pretty important because uh, pretty much she's pretty much the start of the rebellion as far as the politics of it go. She sat in a room with Palpatine, and of course, Palpatine can feel things. He's using the dark side of the Force. He has a kind of telepathy that he can ascertain what's going on in a room or what's going on in your mind in a room. And for her to have been in a room with Palpatine and kept her cards so close to the vest, I'd like to know how she did it, and I'd like to know more about this outstanding woman character. So don't think that just because the title character is Andor, that this will not be uplifting, or we won't see women represented in a way that makes them kind of important to the role. We even saw that in the movie Rogue One. One of the most important people in the movie, female character. So let's watch the series first before we start jumping out the window about what we think is going on in the series. Let's give it a chance. And if you watch it and you don't like it, then that's a whole different thing. You gave it an opportunity. But right now, and I do it too from time to time where I kind of go off of the clues that I see in the trailer, and that what I know about the story, and I kind of run with the conclusion, and that's unfair. It's unfair because we don't know what what's in store until we see the final product. Speaking of which, speaking of which, and I don't know if I got anybody. I really wanted to have my guys in here to talk about some Black Panther stuff, but here we are. Okay, so Black Panther is, of course, coming out in November. We've seen a trailer for Black Panther. That trailer, um, I think it was an outstanding trailer, and it was a tearjerker. The trailer showed all of the women and M'Baku. It also had him in it. It had all of the women in T'Challa's life appearing to mourn for T'Challa. And the backdrop music was that Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. And it was just an excellent choice for, hey, Angus. Yes, Black Panther. But yeah, it had that No Woman, No Cry as the backdrop, which we know that was Bob Marley telling a woman to not mourn, to not cry. Things were going to get better. It's gonna be all right. And as the trailer moved on, we saw them going from a spirit of sadness to a spirit of celebration when we saw them in the white outfits, kind of having a praise party, is what I would call it. But it was them celebrating the life of T'Challa. And then it moves on to seeing them kind of rise up. We also got some good looks at Namor in there, even with the little wings on the feet, on the baby feet. We saw that too. So that was cute. But we got some good looks in Namor. And then we also saw some type of drama happening with some soldiers and the Wakandans, and some soldiers going down in the ocean. So this is it, the trailer told a story, and that story was, number one, that these people are going to mourn for T'Challa. Number two, they're going to celebrate his life. Number three, we moved into Kendrick Lamar's "It's Gonna Be All Right," that song. So we know that things get better, right? Things get better. It's going to be all right. Then we see Namor and his people. It looks like they are going to have uh, some type of beef with the Wakandans. But it also appears that at some point in this movie, that those two nations, Wakanda and the nation that Namor leads, which is not Atlantis in this movie, and I cannot remember what the name of it is, but it ain't Atlantis. It's not Atlantis. So whatever the name of that nation is, Namor's nation, and the Wakandans, it appears that they're gonna have to team up and against a larger threat. And when they do, I think that's when we will get an uneasy alliance between those two worlds against somebody else. Angus says, I think it's Doom stirring up ish between Wakanda and Namor because Doom wants vibranium. Exactly. So this would be an outstanding jump off for Doctor Doom, and it will also, it'll be him coming into the fray as a realized character already, and then it'll give us an opportunity to maybe have a Doctor Doom series, Victor Von Doom series on Disney Plus to show how he got to be a realized villain, and you could call him a villain. To the Latvians, he's a hero. That's his people. So I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on with Doctor Doom. And well, we're jumping again. We're jumping, but it does look that way. I agree with Angus 100% that it looks like a good place to start Doctor Doom off, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what else. Oh, but in talking about that trailer, because the trailer was beautiful, I really enjoyed it. In talking about that trailer, we have also got to talk about this latest controversy with Shuri, because at the end of the trailer, we saw like only the back of of a Black Panther. Somebody is in the suit. Many people think that the silhouette of that Black Panther is feminine, and I can agree that it did look that way to me, but I have been fooled before. It does not have to mean that this was a feminine silhouette. But there's been a lot of controversy because people are saying now, okay, of course we got the recast T'Challa people. Non-traversy, as Angus, that's even better. Non-traversy. So we even um, we've seen, of course, hey, we don't want anybody but T'Challa from the recast T'Challa people, and I think that's that's an opinion. They can have it. Then I also see that there are people who just we want it to be anybody but Shuri because anti-vax and all of this. And the thing is, I believe that the recast T'Challa people and these anti-vax Shuri, Letitia Wright people are like kind of in the same group. They're trying to say whatever to disparage this young lady to make her an unliked character or entity, even actress. Um, she says, and other people on set say that it was not true, that she did not go on around trying to spread her anti-vax views on set. That has been debunked by Letitia Wright herself and also other actors and actresses on set. So there's that, right? That may not have actually happened, but people are still running with that as a talking point, even though she says, it's been said that it didn't happen, right? I think those two groups are working together to make sure that Shuri is not the next Black Panther. Well, my question is, was she ever going to be the next Black Panther anyway? There are other choices, right? There are other people, females, males, whomever, that could be Black Panther. And we can start with, we can make a list of our potential Black Panthers, right? So, potential Black Panthers. Let's get up and do a classroom on this. Let's do a lecture. Oh. Hopefully I don't knock the whole table down while I'm doing my lecture, but that is always a possibility. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm gonna move the mic up just a little bit. Okay, let's get into. Let's move this. I don't want this all in my way. Let's get into who could potentially, and I'm gonna move this up just a little. Who could potentially be Black Panthers, right? Okay, so one of my first choices for Black Panther was Wakabi, right? Wakabi. That was one of my first choices. And I thought Wakabi because Wakabi was a soldier for Wakanda. He thought that everything that he was doing was for Wakanda. He was a former friend of T'Challa. He ended up betraying him. And I was saying, okay, well, let's say he betrayed T'Challa. Something happened. T'Challa lost his life. And because he felt so bad and he wanted to go into service again for Wakanda, he tries to become the Black Panther. That was my thing. But of course, we know that can't happen because Wakabi is not going to be in the movie, right? My next obvious choice, the obvious choice, was Shuri. Why? Because Shuri is the heir to the Wakandan throne. Now, we can move forward. Another possible potential Black Panther would have been Okoye to me. So Okoye, the most loyal of the Doras, the highest general, the highest ranking of the Doras, one of the most loyal people in Wakanda, loyal to the throne, all about the nation. She could be a potential Black Panther. Then another thought was Nakia, the lover of T'Challa, also formidable in combat, in espionage. She's a spy, and again, loyal to Wakanda. Is about the growth of this nation. Nakia would have been an excellent choice as well. Then we meet a new character. This new character is Anika. Anika is known as she's like the combat trainer for the Dora. She is teaching them the hand-to-hand combat, martial arts, all of that. That's Anika's job. Anika also, because she's a new character and she showed up in the trailer, there is a potential that she could be the next Black Panther. Finally, this is finally for me. It might not be finally for you. So if you could think of somebody else, let me know. I'm going to put it on the board too. But my final person is M'Baku. M'Baku, leader of the gorilla tribe. Frenemy. Foe becomes friend of T'Challa. The person who is the second most worthy as far as hand-to-hand combat goes. The second most worthy in Wakanda right now. Oh, and there is one more person. I'm sorry. I'm going to put one more on the board. But the second most worthy person, because he almost took T'Challa to the brink in them fighting for the throne of Wakanda. He challenged him for the throne. And okay, so M'Baku could possibly, potentially be one. Angus says, we are vegetarian. This is true. Last but not least, this is not my favorite, but I've heard it said, so I'm going to write it up here, and that is Killmonger. Now, there are ways that Killmonger could become the Black Panther, and that is, we know that he requested at the end of Black Panther to be buried, or to be, he said buried, but to be thrown out into the ocean or to the sea, like his ancestors who jumped off of slave ships, because they knew that death was better than bondage. So he requested to be thrown in the ocean. Now, he had already taken his heart shaped herb, and we saw T'Challa come back from death, right? Um, a lot of our Wakanda Forever movie is going to be in the ocean, right? And suppose that Namor's people have Killmonger. Not saying that that is happening, but suppose that they do, and he in some way resurrects, comes back to life. So we shall see if Killmonger is a good choice. Let me see what Angus says here. Yeah, Angus. He said, but M'Baku's build is heavy and the one wearing the suit is slight. I agree, but remember that Marvel likes to play games with their trailers. Do you remember the trailer for Infinity War when we saw the Hulk running with everybody else, and then we find out that Hulk gets killed, or not gets killed, he gets neutralized in the early frames of Infinity War, and we never see him again. So they play games with trailers. I'm not saying that this is the case, but I'm saying that if you still wanted to make a case for M'Baku, that would be a way that you could make a case. Because I'm going to tell you who I think is going to be the next Black Panther. And it ain't Shuri. Okay? Out of the names that we have on the board, the person that I think is most likely to be the next Black Panther is Okoye. Okoye. And I'm going to tell you why. So let me erase everybody's name but Okoye's. Because as Angus said there, the build of the Black Panther that we saw towards the end of that trailer was a slight, more feminine build, right? Well, that fits Okoye. It also stands to reason that she is the most decorated soldier, fighter for Wakanda. And she would be an outstanding choice because of that. And then also, in the real world, Okoye is the only person right now that's getting a Disney Plus series. We have already heard that there is a series in the works about Okoye. Why? Why? Why are we getting this series? Now, I'm not saying that it's necessarily this is the only reason we'd be getting the series, but it is a big potentiality that if we're getting an Okoye series on Disney Plus, 9 times out of 10 we're going to go back, retrace the steps of how she became the general of this huge Wakandan, the Dora Milaje, and then we're going to see her path to being a Black Panther. That's my thoughts. You don't have to agree. That is just how I look at it. So, my money is on Okoye. My money is that everybody doing all this arguing about Shuri and everybody else, that we are wrong. And I also believe that she's only going to be Black Panther for one movie. How about that? I think, let me move the camera again. I think that we will see a T'Challa variant show up. Now, I'm going to tell you some of the other thoughts that I've seen people have that is equally as plausible as what I've said. Any of those people that we had on the board is equally as plausible as what I'm saying, right? So any of that. But then also, Clarence brought up the potential for there to have been, let's write it up here, multiple Black Panthers. You can't be against it because we've seen that happen in the Spider-Man universe. We've seen it happen in Doctor Strange now. So if there will be multiple Black Panthers, we're back to who would be those the others. Angus is spouting some of the foolishness that some people were talking. He says we're gonna need to see Okoye do some training, and that has been an argument, and I allowed myself to get pulled into that argument for a couple of days, days of there are those who were saying, oh, if they make Shuri the Black Panther, hopefully they show her training to be Black Panther. And then the argument becomes, well, why? Why does she have to prove that she can be the Black Panther? Oh, because we've never seen her fight before. Well, I beg to differ. She used tech mostly in her fighting, but we've seen her go to battle more than once. We saw her do it in Black Panther, and we saw it again in Avengers Endgame. We saw a little brief montage of when what is it? What was his name? Corvus Glaive? Who was that snuck up on her and when she was trying to do the stuff with Vision's Mind Stone, he snuck up on her and she was able to get off a couple of shots. That was a small little piece, but she fought valiantly because she survived in in Avengers Endgame, and she fought in Black Panther, the original movie. So we have seen her fight, but people still say, "Oh, we need to see her because we've never seen her throw a punch or a kick." Well, if I have this tech that can keep you off of me, why should I have to throw a punch or a kick? Isn't it fighting smarter and not harder if I don't have to throw a punch or a kick? I mean, that makes sense. But okay, they were like, well, we only see her using tech. Well, we've only seen until Iron Man 3 anyway. We'd only seen Tony using tech. We never saw him train to fight. How was he able to fight? We saw him fight in the original Iron Man. We saw him fight in Iron Man 2. We saw him fight in Iron Man 3, but of course we did see a little training. We saw him fight in the Avengers. How was he able to do all of those things? We're not asking for the same proof from these male heroes. Captain America took the super soldier serum. The super soldier serum. He took the super soldier serum. Does not mean that he can fight all of a sudden, but I mean, like, immediately he was able to fight. Why? Was the serum programmed with some kind of, like the Matrix? You can just download these fighting skills into your brain? See, but we didn't ask for that kind of proof with Steve Rogers. We didn't ask for that type of proof with any other person so far, except for Shuri. They gave us a little fight montage, or a training montage of Sam Wilson in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and guess what? I was pissed off a little bit about that. Of course, he would have to learn to use this shield, but why do we have to assume that he, if we didn't see it, that he didn't do it? That just makes, no sense to me. So this Shuri thing was bothering me because I'm like, okay, everybody knows that the next person in line to the Wakandan throne is going to be tapped to be the Black Panther. It went from this father to this son to this. We haven't gone far enough back in the history of the Black Panthers to know whether or not, or how many women Black Panthers there were, long before we get to Shuri and their lineage. So, if everybody knows that at some point any person in the royal family can become a Black Panther, would we not see them be trained from the very beginnings of their lives for the responsibility that might fall upon them? For instance, when you look at the royal family over there in Britain, from a very early age, they are taught what it means to be the monarch. They're taught that. Now, they may never use it. Some of them, will never become the king or queen of England. Those firstborns, they definitely have to know the stuff. They got to know their stuff. What they say, we got an heir and a spare. So they have the first child who is taught intensely what it means to be the monarch. And then they have the second child that they teach them, but that child never feels like I'll never have to fulfill that responsibility. I got my big sister or brother to do that, heir and a spare. And same with Wakanda, it appears. There was an heir and a spare. Nobody expected or assumed that Chadwick Boseman, aka T'Challa, would pass away so soon after being cast in that role. But okay, I mean, in a regular monarchy, people don't expect to pass away early. They expect to have a long period of time on the throne, unless you're, like in one of those kind of kingdoms where you expect to get bumped off just so that somebody else can take the throne. That type of shit happens too. But we don't see any signs of that in Wakanda. So wouldn't we expect Shuri to be able to fight? Wouldn't she have been trained, especially since all the trainers are these badass women? Anika, her name ain't up on the board no more. But Anika, the person who trains everybody, is a woman. You mean to tell me you think that she wouldn't make sure a princess, another woman, is ready for the responsibility that might befall on her? And here we are, it has befallen on her. I just don't want to see no training. Because I am going to assume, just like we assumed that T'Challa can fight, I'm going to assume that Shuri can fight. Now, that's it. That's all. I done got myself all heated again about this Shuri shit. But yeah, in my opinion, it should be Okoye. And not that it should be, because in reality it should be Shuri, but I could see Okoye stepping into the role, and it also in real world it shows me that she's having a show on Disney Plus. Why? So that's my thoughts on the Black Panther stuff. If you got, in fact, there is a poll in the description of this live stream or this video, wherever you're watching it. If you look down at the bottom of the description, there is a poll, and it's asking, do you think we need to see some training from Shuri? I like to know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking about that there, because yeah, I'm interested in knowing. I don't think we should. And so far it says 40% people said no, I assume she has been trained. And then another 40% said yes, it's important to see her train. And then 20% says I don't care either way. So do the poll and see, let me know what you think. What else? Oh, I am Groot. I am Groot. That might be another reason why we're going to see Andor be pushed, because I am Groot as well. It's coming out on August 10th. Now, we know that that's like a more or less kind of a kid's show, but I'm still going to watch it. All episodes will drop on August 10th. And, I guess maybe Disney say, well, we're going to give everybody a chance to watch everything, and then we're going to bring Andor in on the back end of that on September 21st. The She-Hulk series is, I think it was 9 episodes, and those 9 episodes are all 30 minutes long, like a old school sitcom. So those episodes start again on August 17th. Sandman, again, we were talking about. is coming August 5th at the end of this week, and yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to talk about. So now I'm gonna leave it up to y'all for a little bit, and I think it's only me and you right now, Angus. But I'm gonna leave it up to you. What we talking about next? Is there anything you want to discuss? Anything you want to go back over? Anything you want to add to what I've said? Speak now, forever hold your peace. I knew I was coming on today. Angus and I, we chat in the wee hours of the morning because we were both, I guess, up. Unfortunately. So yep. Yes, Lysandra, I did watch the new Star Wars trailer, that new Andor series. That's what we've been talking about. And yeah, it looks good. Like I said, we're getting Saw Gerrera. We saw that. That was one of the things that I was kind of wishing for with the Andor trailer, or with the Andor series. It looks like I'm getting that. We also saw Amon Mothma, who again is a female politician who sat in a room with Emperor Palpatine, who before he was Emperor Palpatine, and, and she all that time was harboring thoughts of starting a rebellion, and she was able to keep that from Palpatine. He had no clue that she was in his midst. I'd like to know how. I know that there are some people who have those answers. I think that those answers, I'm looking forward to seeing them in the Star Wars series Andor. I am. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with Cassian. Was Cassian at first working for the Empire, and then he switched teams when he realized that that they were being oppressed? How do you know what was going on there? It's a lot of questions that trailer asked, made me ask, and that's good because now it gives me some a starting point of what to expect to have answered when that series starts. You know what I mean? Like I'm really looking forward to seeing how that series plays out. It looks outstanding, and again, we're going to see the beginnings of the rebellion. We're gonna get some political intrigue. These are all things that makes Star Wars such a great franchise. Never have I thought that we would explore this deeply the things that happened before Rogue One. And Rogue One was my favorite freaking movie. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. So for that to be my favorite movie, and then we getting another piece of that puzzle in this Cassian Andor series, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, yep. So September 21st, they changed the date from from August 30th to September 21st, but I'm okay with that because then we can watch She-Hulk, and it won't be so much of an overlap between both of those series. I'm cool with it. Um, Again, we got the I Am Groot stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Angus says in the Clone Wars let me put my glasses on because I can't see. In the Clone Wars cartoon, we saw Palpatine being very patient and cautious. He marked targets and come back to them later in a way that didn't make him look anything but good. It took him 19 years to abolish the Senate, and he was weeding it the whole time. So again, you see politics being played, and I know I don't always talk about politics in my show, but we see that being done right now in uh, United States politics, where they're chipping away bit by bit at some of our rights and some of our expectations or our faith in our institutions is being eroded slowly. And then, I don't know what the end game will be, and 9 times out of 10, I won't be here to see it. But it takes patience, as Angus just said. It takes patience, and it takes calculating to do these things. And within, say, 30 years, um, the 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 landscape of the United States will look so different than it does now. And that is what, again, what Angus is saying that we saw happen in Star Wars. That eventually, it wasn't like this is going we're gonna start this today and then tomorrow we're gonna have a new empire. Angus says it took 19 years to abolish the Senate, and he was chipping away, chipping away, chipping away until he got things the way he wanted it. Um, and I know I just took it back to real life, but that's what we're seeing right now. So okay, I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to seeing what they do with Andor. My favorite Rogue One was my favorite movie. I watch it. That's the movie that I continue to go back to. Now these last couple of days, it's been all about Star Trek for me because of the passing of Nichelle Nichols, and I've just been going back and you know one of the things, even though she was in a room that she was never expected to be in, had no business being in, almost left the room, and then she stayed in the room. Nichelle Nichols didn't have a whole lot to do in those original series episodes. She was there though. She spoke from time to time. She was, oh, I'm frightened, Captain. She was that kind of damsel in distress occasionally, but she was there, which was huge in the '60s. So yeah, the last few days has been about Star Trek. Even I watched the movies. I watched not the old movies. I watched the Kelvin universe stuff. Oh, excuse me. You can see I'm sleepy still. Lord. Yeah, the Calvin universe stuff. I watched that stuff. Even though, there's a whole different Uhura. The thing is, the Nichelle Nichols version of Uhura paved the way for the Zoe Saldana version of Uhura, who also paved the way for the Strange New Worlds Uhura, Celia Gooding. We see her now in the role of Uhura. Um, each actress before her kind of made it a little easier for the next one to be badass, even more badass than the first one. So, yeah. So, anything else, y'all? Let me know. Let me know if you guys have anything else that you would like to add. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm sleepy. Goodness. I appreciate y'all for liking the video or liking the stream too. Angus says, as a young child watching the original series, seeing Uhura made me think it was okay for black folks to be in space. Like it never even became a question. Right. Like if I mean, and I guess like for me, it was just that she was there. She had a job on a spaceship. She was there, and as watching the original series and moving on to all the other iterations of Trek, yeah, didn't it wasn't a question of whether or not anybody belonged in space, but especially black folks or especially minorities. Space was not just a place for uh, cis white males. Just that is what we would have gotten probably if there were space series before that. So the fact that she was there, Nurse Chapel was there, but she was as a nurse, and everybody else was in kind of, all the other females were in kind of service type roles, and Uhura was on the bridge. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. Um, what else? Gosh, when I tell you, I ran through my notes. I ran through the things that I wanted to talk about so quickly. Gosh, it wasn't supposed to be that fast. I guess because I'm using a different program for this stream, this was a good test out. I guess I could tell you I have a subscriber goal for this month. I like to get to 100 subscribers in the month of August. And right now we are at 50, I can't even see, 51? 51 in August. So I need 49 more. I need 49 more to make our goal. I also have opened up memberships to the channel, and if you'd like to become a member, great. You can do that by clicking down at the bottom underneath become a member. Also, Patreon. If you look in the description, I've got Patreon. Patreon. Gosh, I cannot even think. Goodness. I've got the Patreon links. I've got the member links, the link for the Discord, all of that thing, all of that is down in the description, and you can. Well, Angus, you're already a subscriber for the channel, subscribing to the channel. But if you look down in the description, if you've not done so yet, you can see all of these links, all of these different ways that you can help support the channel. And a big old hello to the latest subscriber. That person is going to be named. I think it's named on the screen. It's not there on the screen, but it's named definitely in the description. The latest subscriber is there. Drunken Monkey 1975. Thank you. Welcome to the family. And what else? What else? What else? Yeah, that's it. I ain't got nothing else. But yeah, Angus, you're my subscriber. You've been my subscriber for probably as long as I've had this channel. Hey, Angus, you're a member. You're my first member. Welcome to the stream team. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. I appreciate you, sir. And I just need, look, four more to reach my stream team goal. So that would make me so happy. And we're gonna have some what do you call it? Live chats just for members. So you guys can tell me what you guys want to see talked about next, or you can just bend my ear about something. So oh, Netflix, no FOMO. Thank you, Angus. You're saving the day for me, sir. I appreciate it. Yes, unfortunately, that's not gonna come to me until next month. But they hold on to those super chats, but it's okay. I'm 100%. I'm very thankful. You're gonna make sure I watch that Sandman, and I'm looking forward to it. I am. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much for becoming a member. And my first member, Lord have mercy, Angus. So, what else? What else? What else? I don't think I have nothing else. Oh, on a personal note, we got a baby coming around this place. He's gonna be my co-host for a lot of the time. He is pretty much going to be running this show. He's going to be an off-screen producer, maybe even an on-screen producer, depending on how little Ashton is going to act. But yes, we will be having a grandchild here real soon. Lysandra has sent me ridiculous amounts of stuff for this baby. So thank you, Lysandra, for being a good auntie to the baby. You beat Clarence. Yes, you did, Angus. So yeah, Lysandra has been extremely helpful. My baby got a whole wardrobe. Thank you to Auntie Lysandra. Auntie Davina, who is not in the chat today. I don't even know if I told her I was going on. Auntie Davina sent a car seat. So thank you, Auntie Davina. yes, the aunties are doing their thing. What do we what did they call it on Ms. Marvel? The Illuminatis, the Illuminatis. So yeah, the Illuminatis have been doing their thing, and thank you, aunties. Thank you. What else? Lasagna say no problem. Can't wait till the baby comes. Girl, yeah, I can't either. I'm getting far more excited than I. Well, no, I'm supposed to be excited. This this work. He said this wee child has so much sci-fi to catch up on, and I am going to introduce him to it. Yes, that is going to be our thing. Star Trek for certain. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to indoctrinating another young person into this crazy club that we're in, and he'll keep the family tradition going on as a as a little mini me. I can't wait. So yeah, so thanks everybody for everything you're doing is helping keep this channel alive because it gets hard, and then the more things get thrown at you, the harder it gets. But you guys give me a reason to keep going, and I appreciate it. I also appreciate all these people who have really been supportive in other ways. Like, for instance, I got a message the other day that's like, I just love watching you. I love watching your videos. And that just warmed my heart because, sometimes I wonder why I'm doing this. And I know I'm doing it because I enjoy talking about this stuff. And I'm also doing it because I've made so many friends that, you know, fr- in a lot of ways, you guys are my friends now. So I've made friends. I enjoy talking about this stuff. And I've got people who don't mind listening to me talk about this stuff. But then people who are not like as vocal as Lysandra and Angus and Clarence and Dreamwalker and the such, when they just leave a little comment like that, it just warms my heart. I know that people are really watching. So thank you, thank you everyone, thank you everyone for making me happy. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay, so I'm thinking it's dinner time. And I do appreciate everybody for joining me today. I'm gonna try to be back sooner. I'm not making no promises. Keep your eyes and remember who called it. I said Okoye is gonna be our Black Panther because she getting that Disney Plus series. Remember that I said that. Remember, write it down. Take a picture. Take a picture. Because if I'm right, I'm not gonna let this be the end of it. I'm gonna like just yes. So thank you guys. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Angus, for the bless you because yeah, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. So yeah, it's coming. Do we got anything else, everyone? Anyone? Anything else? Thanks for the whiteboard. The whiteboard has always been here. It's just been hidden. I just when we were setting this room up because this room is smaller than my original room, right? When we were setting the room up, I was like, okay, what can I do differently? And I guess I was like, well, let's just put the whiteboard, make it part of the we'll make the whiteboard part of our background. I don't have the like my shelf is over there now with the Funkos on it, and I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do there. One of these days, maybe I'll just turn the desk and that'll be the backdrop instead of the whiteboard. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. How can we make this a little bit different? But this is really come in handy when we have these types of discussions where the multiple Black Panthers and that kind of stuff, keeping those kinds of things in some kind of order. But I do believe that Clarence could be on to something with that multiple Black Panthers because We've seen it in everything else. We've seen it in the Spider Man. We've seen it in Doctor Strange. It wouldn't be a surprise or wouldn't be too far off to see it in Black Panther. But I really believe it's gonna be Okoye. I really do. Um, so yeah, if you know of anyone else who would like this type of content, share it. Share it with people so we can reach my subscriber goal, which is 100 for the month of August. I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to reach that. We're pushing towards 2,000 is what I really want. So, thanks for being here. Have I said that 102,000 times yet? Thanks for being here. Well, thanks for being here. Oh gosh. Oh, the powers are given by Bast and Sekhmet. They can support two Black Panthers. This is true. This is true. This is true. And we saw representation of both Bast and Sekhmet in that trailer. So this is true. We could be multiple Black Panthers. You are correct. And keep that in mind also, that as we move forward, the first person that I heard say multiple Black Panthers was Clarence. So if I'm right about the Okoye thing, yay. If Clarence is right, we got to give him his props too. Because yes, it is a distinct possibility. It was one that I hadn't considered before hearing him say it, but especially when we look at Bast and Sekhmet being the two gods, kind of feline gods in Black Panther, yeah, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. I don't have nothing else. I'm hungry. I don't know what we eating for dinner here today, but I'm hungry. I'm going here and see what I can rustle up. I kind of want a salad. It's been a thing, and food has been not my friend here lately. Stuff just been sitting wrong on my tummy, so maybe a salad is in order. We shall see. Thanks everybody. I'm not gonna hold you no longer. I'm gonna try to be here sooner than 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna try to be here sooner, and I might even comb my hair next time. How about that? Wouldn't that be wonderful?